Alright, welcome back everybody to my channel and a unit review. The first one of, I don't know how many I'm going to do. Mostly on the units I take in my army, which is the first one you have to take your HQ. And my HQ is, as you can see, Huron. Huron Blackheart is the leader of the Red Corsairs, the tyrant of Badab, and he's my HQ. So he's the fine cast model. He's half painted. I know he doesn't look that great. So on to the unit review. Alright, so what do you get? He's 160 points. I'm not sure if GW is gonna really audit these things, but yeah, he's 160 points and he is a Chaos Lord. He has the exact same stat line as a Chaos Lord. The weapon skill 6, BS 5, strength tough 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5. He has 3 attacks, leadership 10, and he has power armor, which gives him a 3-up save. And he comes with all sorts of special rules, which is kind of cool. He comes with the frack and crack like normal. He has a power axe and a sigil of corruption, which gives him a 4-up invulnerable save if he can't take his 3-up armor save, which is pretty good for a single model. The only thing I don't like is he doesn't have Eternal Warrior, but that's something else, I guess. Alright, so he has Fearless, so he gives it to whatever unit he's joining. Independent character, which allows him to join other units. Veterans of the Long War. Now, I always forget this rule when I'm fighting other Space Marines, but it gives you a reroll to hit in close combat the first round of combat. That's what the Veterans of the Long War gives you. He's also a Psyker Mastery level 1, but his rolls are a little bit different. He has a Hemydra, which gives him Psyker level 1, but he has to roll a D3 at the beginning of every turn, which are Biomancy, Pyromancy, and Divination. And then you roll on those tables as a level 1 Psyker, but you can't take the Primaris power, which is not that bad. You know, every once in a while you get a cool buff. Sometimes it just could be nothing, like reroll reserve rolls or outflanking units. You could choose to reroll that one, but it works sometimes, it doesn't. I mean, it's not something you could build a game plan over, because there's literally 18 spells and he could only take 15, because the level 6 on the Pyromancy is the Molten Beam, which is a level 2, and he can't take that. So yeah, he has that. He has the Tyrant's Claw, which is a strength 6 AP 3 shred lightning claw type of weapon that gives him 2 strength, and the Power Axe, which is a +1 strength AP 2, and that one's AP 3, and it also has a heavy flamer inside of his claw, which is kind of cool, so you can overwatch if anybody were to charge that unit. And his Warlord trait, which is predetermined, like you can't roll for it, he comes with it, is Master of Deception. Now what that does is give you D3 infantry units that could outflank, which also gives you infiltrate, which also gives you the outflank special. Now that might not seem like much, but I think that Warlord trait is probably one of the best ones in the game, because it not only messes with your deployment, it also changes the game plan of your opponent. Now infiltrate and outflank, depending on the mission, depending on the army, but it gives your army a lot of tactical flexibility if you were to build around it. Like you could have say a unit of 10 Terminators infiltrate 18 inches away from your opponent, and that could be very deadly, and that's just one unit. You could have up to 3, and I'm not saying get 30 Terminators and do that, but that's what he gives you. You could also outflank Chaos Marine squads and Rhinos, which I do very often, so that I could outflank and get closer to my opponent. So that Warlord trait is very powerful in itself. So he's worthwhile to take. I like it because it's a red and black color scheme. I was tired of playing straight black. If you see my other videos, they're Black Legion, and mostly led by Abaddon, or Abaddon, however you pronounce it. Anyways, so this guy is a very powerful character. He's not going to kill other powerful characters by himself in combat, but he's more of a force multiplier. If you put him in a Rhino with the unit, and say you have 2 or 3 other Rhinos, or Terminators like I said, or anything else that could use the infiltrator outflank, it could really help out your deployment and you could game plan for it because you get at least one. So on average, you're gonna get 2. So you could game plan your list building around it, your tactics around it, and he's a decent character to go against other characters. He does have the Champion of Chaos special rule, which means he has to challenge in the beginning of every turn or accept challenges if able. Now if there's 2 of them in the unit, you could choose either one. It allows you. That's the Chaos special rules. So he could slaughter pretty much every other sergeant in the game, or character level sergeant, because he's an initiative 5 and he goes first with 3 attacks and an AP3 shred weapon, which is very powerful against other independent characters. Depending on which ones, if he could choose to fight, you know, stuff like another Space Marine captain or like a Space Wolf Rune Priest or something along those lines, he will come out on top 9 out of 10 times as long as you roll average. Now if he fights a close combat beast, somebody else like an Abaddon or a Swarm Lord or a Marnia's Calgar, even Lysander, he's gonna get killed. Chances of him surviving that battle are very slim. So use him accordingly, plan around him accordingly, and he will help you out in many games. There was another thing I was going to say and point out, but can't really think of it right now. So that's kind of my unit review. He's a very helpful force multiplier, and if you use him in sort of a mid-table assaulty type, like not a full force, you go in there and smash things, he will actually perform very well. And that's the way I use him. I stick him in a unit of Chaos Marines and he goes wild because he makes the unit fearless. So I hope you enjoyed this unit review. I'm going to do a couple of more on other ones, but Huron Blackheart, he is the HQ of the Red Corsairs. He's my HQ, and hopefully soon he could be your HQ. You know, maybe I change your mind on using other things, but Master of Deception, probably the best warlord trait in the game. So thank you for watching. This is Huron Blackheart, and see you later. That was not good.